What is uninsured motorist coverage? That's our topic for this episode of Main Street Law. I'm Cindy Speaker, and my guest today is South Carolina personal injury attorney George Sink of George Sink Injury Lawyers. George, how are you today?
I'm terrific. How are you, Cindy?
I'm good, thank you. George, let's jump right in here. What is uninsured motorist coverage?
Uninsured motorist coverage is a way of recovering when you've been injured by someone who caused an accident and damage to you while they were uninsured.
Now, does everyone have that type of coverage? Is it mandated by the state?
Yes, it is. But the funny thing is, you really don't have a claim unless you go through some sort of ritual. But it is mandatory by the state to have this, and it's wonderful to have a lot of it.
So does that mean that you recommend carrying more uninsured motorist coverage than what the state requires?
Absolutely. It's very cheap and it helps you. So oftentimes what you really need is a lot of it to protect you from someone who's injured you who doesn't have enough.
And in South Carolina, what would that recommendation be?
As much as your company will allow. Every company's different. I have $1 million on mine.
And that's affordable?
Yes. Oh, it's the cheapest you can buy and it helps you.
What if a driver is a victim of a hit-and-run accident? Would he use uninsured motorist coverage in that situation?
Absolutely. It's just what's involved in that. The funny thing is, it's complicated. The statute says basically you don't have an uninsured claim unless you do three things, and you have to read the statute carefully, but you have to report it to the police authority promptly. So it has to be reported to the police, and you have to have physical contact with the other person or a witness, and the witness is a very special sort of person, and I don't have time to go into it, but it's complicated. And you have to get an affidavit that's filled out in a certain way. And the third part of it is you can't be negligent in determining the identity of the person. So if you're in a collision, you feel okay, and you let them go, you're not going to have a claim, uninsured motorist claim, because you were negligent in not getting their name and identity so we can recover from them.
That makes sense. One final thing, George. What recommendation do you have to someone who, after listening to this, wants to reevaluate the amount of their uninsured motorist coverage?
I would get as much of this as possible, and the reason is simple. It helps you. If someone hurts you, they don't have enough money to pay for the damage to you, this will pay for it. Nothing could be better for you than to do this, and it is cheap. So, Cindy, I couldn't recommend this any more than I am right now. Buy it. Buy as much as you can.
I think I'll be calling my insurance company later today. George, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
They can call 1-800-849-SYNC, 1-800-849-SYNC, or they can go to the website, which is www.synklaw.com.
Thank you, George. Until next time, this is Cindy Speaker for State Law TV.